Hello and welcome back to day 8 of our 90 days data analytics training. I am super excited to have you back. In today's video, we are going to be talking about data ethics and how you can handle sensitive data. This is very important for you to understand because when you are working with data, especially data that contains personal information, you have to handle it with care. So I'm going to be sharing with you some strategies to handle sensitive data so you don't end up being sued by a company or the owner of the data. Let's get straight into the video. First, let's talk about what data ethics is. So it's like a set of principles that guide responsible data use, and it ensures that data is used in a fair way that's fair, transparent, and respectful. It goes beyond legal rules, it's about doing what is right. So that is what data ethics means. Why is data ethics important? You have to understand that you are not just working with numbers, you are working with real people's information. Some data sets might contain my name, my address, my phone number, my email. So that's like my all personal information that you have in your care. You have to handle it with care because if all of these details get into a scammer's hand, they are going to get access to me easily because you have the data with you. You understand? So when you are working with companies, especially take for example people, data analysts working in the bank. Take for example a data analyst working in the bank. They have information about me. For example, they will have my name, my transactions, how much I have, incoming, outgoing, everything like that. And this is a personal data that should not be mishandled. All right. If you mishandle data, then you won't be trusted. It can lead to legal actions, trust me. So some companies even let you sign NDA, all right? So that when anything happens, you are held responsible. There's like legal actions that will be taken for that. It also causes reputational damage. You don't want to damage your reputation. Companies are watching and ethical data analysts are preferred. And that's the reason why I want to enlighten you more on how you can handle sensitive data in this class. Examples of sensitive data are personal information, like I said earlier. If you have the name, email, phone number of the person. In a financial settings, we are talking about the bank information, the credit card details of clients. And we have health records. People don't want the general public to know about their health issues and stuff like that. So these are examples of sensitive data. You may be working with location data, login credentials. These are sensitive data that you really need to handle with care. I'm going to give you some key principles of ethical data use. The first one is transparency. You have to always know where your data is coming from. You have to have an idea of where the data is coming from so you know how to undo it. The second thing is consent. Don't use data without permission. Make sure that you are giving permission before you use any data with personal information. The third one is privacy. You have to protect personal information. You can encrypt it. Let's say we have a spreadsheet. Instead of having customer name, we can have customer ID instead and delete that column containing the customer name, or we hide it. So with customer ID, you don't have the customer's name, it's just the ID. So if the data gets into another person's hand, they don't know who the customer is, they only have the ID. Do you understand? So that's what encrypting means, and you anonymize it if needed. We are going to get to the practical aspect of all of this. I just want you to have the theoretical knowledge. Another principle of ethical data use is fairness. Do not manipulate or misrepresent data. You have to understand that data is like very important. Any slight change to the data might cause a lot of problem, right? So you don't want to do that. And you have to be accountable. You have to own your decisions and how you use your data. Okay, so let's look at some real world example. If a company, let's say there's a company that sells out user emails without permission, they can be fined for that. If I get any mail that I think I did not sign up for, and I trace it back to the fact that one of the companies I that has my personal information sold my email to that person, I could find them for that, because that is my personal information that I trusted their company with, but they sold it. So the reason why some companies sell data is because, so let's say for example, I want to get details of students in a particular university because I want to sell my products to them. I can go meet the school, maybe the SUG, to give me the email of the students. So if the SUG like sells the email of the students to me, the students did not consent to that, right? But that is how they sell the data. So they sell it, some people use it for commercial use so that they could just send you mails that, oh, this product, this thing, this thing, this thing. But that is your personal information that the SUG, because it has your data in care, just let out, and they can be fined for that. Another example is if a health data set leaks private patient information, that can lead to a lawsuit, right? And a biased algorithm that causes unfair decision can lead to public backlash. Imagine giving a wrong analysis. Maybe you want to say something about something that is trending in Nigeria, and then you are biased. You just did data set and analysis. People are going to drag you, especially on Twitter, right? So these are some of the real world example of mishandling sensitive data. So how can you be ethical as a data analyst? You make sure that you don't share raw data publicly unless it's anonymized. For example, there was a time that I uploaded a tutorial video on YouTube and they blocked the video. Basically, because the data set I used in that video contained name, email, phone number of people. But these were actually not real data sets. These were just dummy data that was generated that I downloaded from Cargo. So YouTube algorithm even understands that sensitive data that contains personal information should be anonymized or encrypted. So another thing you should ask yourself is that if this were your data, how would you want it handled? So let's say, for example, somebody has data sets on your credit card details. How would you want that person to handle it? That's the same way you handle other people's data sets that they trust you with. Always marks or hide sensitive columns before presenting. You can hide columns, you can encrypt your file with a password. I'm going to show you that when we start working with Excel. You are going to add a passcode to that file. So only the people that you give that passcode to can open that file. You could send them the file, but without the passcode, they cannot see the contents of that file. So, and also you want to use a secure storage. You want to password protect your files. You want to use cloud with encryption and all of that. So these are some tips that I have for beginners. You have to practice cleaning and analyzing public data sets. These are still like very safe. So public data sets like going to kaggle.com, Google dataset search. So these are public data sets. You can go there, download public data and then clean and analyze them for practice. Also, you don't scrape data from websites without checking their terms. You can be sued for that. Always check the website terms before you scrape their data. If you are in doubt about the data privacy or the data usage, you can ask your team or your instructor. So let's go over the recap of everything we have said today. The first thing is that data ethics is the backbone of responsible analysis. Keep that at the back of your mind. Keep it on your left hand so you don't use it to eat. If you keep it on your right hand, you use your right hand to eat, right? But if you keep it on your left hand, you don't lose it. So another thing is you handle personal and sensitive data with caution. We've also discussed that. Lastly, being ethical builds your credibility and career. Let me know in the comment section if you think companies or individuals should be fined for unethical data use. Let me know your reason. If yes, why? If no, why not? Tomorrow, which is day 9, we'll be discussing data visualization principles. For you to create a data visuals, what are the things you have to keep at the back of your mind? This is what we are going to discuss. And remember, day 11, we are moving straight into the practical aspects of this class. I can't wait, and I know you can't wait too. Also, if you want to join the paid community, check the link in the description. Have a great day. Make sure you practice everything we've said, and bye for now.